Before we get started, please go over to Amazon.com and grab a copy of my book, Education and Justice. If you have an African-American son in public school, you need this book because I teach you the many ways that public schools mistreat African-American boys and what you can do to help your son. So go over there and get your copy immediately. Every single day that I read the newspaper or read some article online, Donald Trump is taking from us critical rights every day. Sometime in a big way, sometime in a small way, sometime in a subtle way, sometimes in a really blatant way. And it's those subtle takeaways, those subtle attacks that so many African-American people don't understand. Those of us who practice the law, who understand the law, who have studied the law, we understand how he's incrementally, him and MAGA, incrementally just taking away very, very precious rights. Hey, family, do you believe in the work we're doing? Does our content speak to you? Do you appreciate our in-depth legal analysis and political commentary from an African-American perspective? Do you believe it matters to our community? Then don't just watch from the sidelines. Please click that membership button and become a member of the 2% Club today. That's right, we need just 2% of our subscribers to become channel members. For just $4.99 a month, that's less than 20 cents a day, you'll help us keep creating powerful content that defends our democracy, demands justice, and develops a strong African-American community. But if you want more, at $9.99 a month, which is only 33 cents a day, you'll get access to exclusive members-only live streams, bonus content, and behind-the-scenes updates. And for just $14.99 a month, which is under 50 cents a day, our top-tier members get access to live Zone calls, strategy sessions, and a direct voice in shaping this movement. We're not just building a YouTube channel. Folks, we're building a movement based on righteousness and justice, just what our community needs in a time of disinformation and division. So if you believe in what we're doing, click the membership button and join now. Become a member of the 2% Club today. Let's build something powerful together. And it is really, really, really frustrating. It is really frustrating. It must have been, and I really believe that it was the single biggest political blunder in American history for blacks to have voted for Trump. Upwards of over 2 million people, 2 million blacks. An increasing number of young black men voting for Donald Trump, a blatant white supremacist who is atop of and leading a blatant white supremacist regime and who is implementing a blatant white supremacist agenda, Project 2025. I made 10 to 15 videos last year, at least once a month. And I started making those videos as far back as, I think, February of 2024, trying to warn the African-American community what was coming. And now we're literally losing precious rights. And am I frustrated? I am very frustrated. I am extremely frustrated. And it's disheartening It is discouraging to put your time and your soul and your effort in trying to warn your people, and they rather listen to content creators who don't know a blipping thing about any of this. Yeah, it's frustrating because we are losing big time. We're taking a big L every single day. We're taking a huge L. And let me just tell you this. We have two choices, as we had two choices last year, last election. We got the Democrats or we got Donald Trump. Now, you can be as frustrated and as angry with the Democrats as you want to be. Either they're going to be running this country or Trump's going to be running this country. I put my money with the Democrats. And do not tell me this garbage about they're the same. They are not the same. We wouldn't be facing an avalanche of anti-blackness right now if Kamala Harris was in office. Look at all the tangibles that she and Joe Biden got for the African American community. Many blacks don't even yet understand that. Not only student loan forgiveness, historical. HBCU funding, historical. The lowest black unemployment in history. Small business loans to African Americans, including felons, historical. The lowest child poverty in American history. Not only that, the economy was good. When Trump took office, Joe Biden handed him a great economy. Inflation low, GDP up, unemployment down. Yet none of that seemed to either care or people didn't know anything about it. And so they listened to the disinformation coming from MAGA and the pro-black imposters. And they just get me. I tell you that. They just get me. They pushed Trump. They pushed him. They pushed him. They attacked Kamala. They pushed Trump. Vote for Trump. Vote for Trump. I don't care what he does. Vote for Trump. I don't care how anti-black he is. Vote for Trump. Vote for Trump is what they said. And now that he's doing this stuff, now that he's sending the National Guard and the military and cops and militarized cops into D.C., now they're on social media saying, look what Trump is doing. Trump is being unfair. You helped Trump get elected. Stop playing games with black people. Stop playing these games with black people, and you black people, stop letting them play games with you. You doggone right I'm angry. You better believe I'm angry. I've been in this fight for 4 decades. I've never seen anything like this. I've never seen anything like this where black men especially, and some black women, are literally following and trusting white supremacy. Literally following old white supremacists and young ones who don't give a blip about black people. Yes, I'm angry. Yes, I'm frustrated. I gave it everything I had trying to warn us not to make this choice. And we made it, and it's bad, it's dark, and there are 3 more years of this. I don't even know how we get out of it. There are 2 choices. Just face that. There are 2 choices. The Democrats who delivered tangibles for us since at least the mid-'60s. I'm going to do an extensive video on that really soon. I will be releasing that because the junk you all are hearing about the Democrats being bad as the GOP, that is junk. If I was a cussing man, I'd call it something else. That is not factual. That is not factual. That is not consistent with the evidence. Let's go to an article. There's an article here that I want to look at from the New York Times, and it sort of encapsulates what I'm trying to articulate. So this article was written August 12th, yesterday. These are the voters who should scare Democrats most, is the name of the article. 5 years ago, well, let's read the little blip there, the little blurb under the title, Working Class Americans Who Until Recently Voted Democratic said the party should not count on a backlash to President Trump to win them back. Still, there were pockets of opportunity. So she says that the folks she talked to write this article are saying, as horrible as Trump is, the Democrats shouldn't count on our votes. Now, that sounds like something white people would say because Trump is not targeting white people. But believe it or not, there are black men in this article. We're going to see. 5 years ago, Raymond Tichy voted as usual for the Democratic presidential nominee. And that was a smart move because the Democrats have produced tangibles for the black community since at least the mid-'60s. And they did not stop then. They have continued to. That's what the evidence show. You all are benefiting now from things the Democrats have gotten you all that you take for granted. You take them for granted until some racist starts attacking them, and then you call our office. You know how many calls we get per day? You know how many calls we get per day of people calling, black people calling our office, begging for help because of the racism that they deal with, and we can't take a lot of those cases because the judges that Trump had put on the bench are just eating away at the laws that we typically would use to protect black people. And then black folks go and vote him in again. I got a video coming out about the judges that Trump appointed. Oh my God. I'm talking about in his first term. But by last fall, Mr. Tichy, an aircraft mechanic from Bucks County, Pennsylvania, was rethinking his political allegiances. To him, the Democratic Party seemed increasingly focused on issues of identity at the expense of more tangible, day-to-day concerns such as public safety or the economy. As if Donald Trump, the GOP, Project 2025, are interested in intangibles, day-to-day tangibles for black people. Nothing says he doesn't better than the big ugly bill, where he earmarked trillions, mostly for his rich white friends, and took away a whole lot from working people like Mr. Tichy. So I don't understand. What is the fascination with Trump and the GOP for African American people? It is certainly not based on facts and evidence. He goes on to say, some of them turned their back on their base, Mr. Tichy, 54, said. Working class voters like Mr. Tichy, who supported Joseph R. Biden Jr. in 2020, but either backed President Trump last year or, as Mr. Tichy did, skipped the 2024 presidential election, help explain why Democrats lost pivotal swing counties like Bucks and vividly illustrate how the traditional Democratic coalition has eroded. Here is Mr. Tichy. Mr. Tichy admits being an eligible black voter and did not vote for Kamala Harris because he says the Democrats focus too much on identity politics. And quite often that means, here's what that typically means. That typically means that the Democrats were focused on specific groups. And you know which group they were specifically focused on more than any other group? Black people. So I don't understand Mr. Teachy's logic. And I would say Mr. Teachy's logic is not based on the evidence, with all due respect to this hardworking brother. But I have a fundamental difference with him. And I believe a lot of this is coming either from black conservatives, Republicans, or pro-black imposters, content creators who, for whatever reason, are doing everything they can to make sure the GOP win political elections. Now, they like to say, well, it's because the Democrats won't give us reparations. It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. The Democrats alone cannot give black people reparations. And they'll point out that Obama had a supermajority, had over 60 senators at the first part of his presidency in 2008. And he did. But it was for a short period of time. I heard a guy say yesterday that yes, Obama had 60 senators and a big lead in the House. And so he expected Obama to get reparations. Do you mean to tell me that Obama could get reparations with several months on the calendar? There would have been a civil war. So Obama did what he knew he could get done, and that is get 4 million black people insured. Rather than spend his political capital on something he didn't believe, and I agree with him, that he could get done then. Reparations is the biggest demand that we have made in American history. It must be done at the right time. And so he said, and Obama said this in an interview to Ta-Nehisi, I think that's how you pronounce his name, Ta-Nehisi Coates. He said he just didn't think he had the political power to get reparations, but he said, I'm going to get the next best thing. I'm going to get a bunch of African Americans insured so that they have insurance, so that they can stay healthy, so that they're not dying prematurely from diseases and so forth. I'm going to get the next best thing. And he gets no credit for that. He gets no credit for that. He just gets disrespect. Meanwhile, what did Trump promise those over 2 million blacks who voted for him in 2024? Not a single thing. Nothing. Nada. Some of these content creators have this illogical hatred for the Democratic Party, despite the fact that the Democratic Party has done more for African Americans since Reconstruction. I read. I'm a lawyer. I have to oftentimes present this information in my court cases. I know the history. I can walk you through the history of civil rights from the end of the Civil War, and of course and I start there because during slavery there were no civil rights. But I can walk you through it from Reconstruction till today. And what is very clear, it has been progressives in the Democratic Party who have gotten the biggest, most consequential tangibles for African Americans, again, at least in the last 80 years. That's just a fact. That started with FDR. And then Harry Truman really took it to another level. That goes all the way back to 48. In FDR's case, all the way back to 32. They're lying to you. to demonize the Democrats like this to help Donald Trump, who despise black people. So Mr. Tichy set the election out along with millions of other blacks, and that is why we are dealing with what we're literally dealing with right now. The daily attacks on black equality. That's why. Because so many people did precisely what Mr. Tichy did. Set it out. Now Democrats hope to bring these voters back into the fold for the midterm elections in 2026, betting on a backlash to Mr. Trump and his party's far-reaching moves to slash the social safety net. Man, do you understand what Trump did in that big, ugly bill? He showed you, again, in his budget what he thinks about working-class men and women like Mr. Tichy. Look at all the blacks that have lost their jobs under Trump. Black unemployment is rising through the roof because of Trump policies. And yet people have this confusion about who's better for blacks, Democrats or Donald Trump. A little bit more. But in interviews with nearly 30 predominantly working class voters who supported Mr. Biden in 2020, before defecting or struggling deeply with their choices last year, many had a stinging message for the Democratic Party. Listen, just because we have misgivings about Mr. Trump, they say, it doesn't mean we like you. It doesn't matter who you like. The question is, who has produced? And it has been the Democrats. You probably wouldn't even have the job that you have right now if it wasn't for Democratic progressive policies. You probably would not have the job you have right now if it wasn't for Democrats. And if somebody starts racially mistreating you because of your job, good luck trying to get the Trump administration to help you defend your civil rights. They've made it clear black civil rights violations are on the bottom of the list. So what is the confusion? What is the confusion here? It is clear who is for black people and who are not. And it's Trump, the GOP, MAGA, Project 2025, who are not for black people. They have made that so clear. They have attacked wokeness. They have attacked critical race theory. They have attacked the voting rights. They have attacked civil. They've attacked everything that we have gained and obtained. And I will fight for full black equality. And there's some equivocation. There's some confusion about who to support and who to vote for. That's not based on evidence. That's not based on rationale. That's based on disinformation. So another African-American man says, quote, "I think I'm done with the Democrats." So where is he going? He's going to the GOP? Is he going to Project 2025? Is he going to the anti-black policies of the Trump administration? Is he going where they don't enforce civil rights for black people anymore? Is he going where they're trying to destroy the Voting Rights Act? Is he going where they have removed rules to ensure or to protect fair housing for us? Is that where Desmond Smith is going, 24-year-old, a deli worker from Smithfield, Mississippi? He ought to know better from Mississippi. He should know better. Mississippi deals with so much white supremacy, it's not even funny. It's amazing that a young black man from Mississippi does not understand white supremacy better than apparently Mr. Smith does. With all due respect to this hardworking young man, I just disagree with his logic. It is amazing the time, the era that we are currently living in. It is amazing. It is amazing to see African-American men especially, young ones, who have some confusion about who's better for this country, especially for Black Americans. I mean, this last thing that Trump has done of sending militarized cops into Black cities, and some of you African-American people, you seem to be okay with it. You're normalizing Trump putting the military on your street corners. You got to be kidding. You got to think better than that. You got to think better than that. You don't want the military, the National Guard, and militarized cops swarming your community. Well, yeah, I do, because these young, I won't use the word they do, are in here just really making it really unsafe. Well, then get out there and do something about it. Those are the kids from our community. We should be out there doing something about it rather than begging a bunch of white supremacists to come in there with their guns. I represent these young men. I know what white supremacy do to them every day. I represent them. I've represented perhaps thousands. And these people, the cops, the militarized cops, are not coming in for the betterment and improvement of our community. That's not why they're coming in. That's not why Trump is sending them. They're coming in oftentimes with hearts and minds full of racism, full of racial bias, full of hate, real jagged. Some of them have PTSD. No, we don't need that. We need our community addressing our issues, and we have relied on white supremacists to do it far too long. So we need to really get out there and do it ourselves and help these young people. And don't tell me it won't work. Just look at Baltimore. That young Black mayor is making a difference. Murder is down in his community, in his city. And so it is in D.C. So it is across the country. Come on, don't normalize this. Don't let Trump and pro-Black imposters and Black conservatives talk a hole in your head. You don't want this. I see the result of it every single day. Now, with Joe Biden's 1994 crime bill, when they put that in place, that was not designed to harm the Black community. It was designed to help the Black community. And it did help. It saved lives. Did it go too far in some areas? Yes. But it is not the same thing as Nixon's war on drugs or Reagan's war on drugs or the Bush war on drugs. It is not the same thing. Stop making that comparison. Yes, my anger arises from my love for my people. It is sad to watch what I see happening to my people. It is sad. And it's very concerning for the next generation of my descendants. What kind of world will they be living in 10 or 15, 20 years when I'm gone? And Trump has completely rolled back civil rights, implemented all this white nationalism with the help of Black people. We got to do better. We got to do better. We got to do better. We got to think. We got to read. We got to listen to the experts. We must. Instead of listening to folks who never sat in a classroom and studied what needs to be learned to protect black equality. Yet for some reason, those are the kinds of people that black people seem to tend to love to listen to. I mean, just yesterday, I saw beef, a bunch of beef on social media, on YouTube. Beef between Cameron and Omar Gooden. And other kind of beef. And those kinds of, that stuff get hundreds of thousands and 500,000 of views. While our country, while our community and country goes to hell in a handbasket. I'm Reverend Civil Rights Attorney Augustus Corbett. Thank you for watching this video. Stay woke.